Hi guys, it's Chris, back in my cider shed with another cider to try. And it's another one from the box of samples that I got. And I think I've had a cider from this guy before, and I liked it. It's from Axminster Cider, Axminster Craft Cider Co. There you go. This is the Dabinett and Sweet Coppin. So Dabinett is a vintage, so top quality, bittersweet, and Sweet Coppin is, as the name suggests, a sweet, so low acid, low tannin. Anything else on here we want to see? Wild yeast, vintage apples are pressed and then fermented with wild yeast, which we love. 6% this one. Traditional Somerset cider apples. I think Sweet Coppin, might be Devon, but these guys are actually in Devon, I believe. Axminster, yeah. Let's have a look. There's been a cider house here at the farm for hundreds of years. Way back then, the reputation of your cider would attract the best labour to help bring in the harvest. Now we just have a passion for making cider, made the way that it should be, from the finest traditional West Country apples, pressed when mature in our barn and balanced for balance and taste. Cool. All right, let's give it a go. My battery pack's a bit low, so I want to get on with it before the light goes off again, which happens so often. You'd think I'd have learned my lesson by now, but I haven't learned my lesson. Let's open it. So the other thing that's different today is all my tasting glasses are in the dishwasher, so I had to go for this one instead, which is just a very big version. It's tapered so you can get the aromatics in my nose from Perry's, in fact. Let me see that. There you go, Perry's. So let's use this one. Just needs a bigger pour, doesn't it? Tough gig. All right, let's pour some of this out. So, light carbonation. It looks pretty bright, so I'm going to guess it's filtered. There you go. Pretty sure it's wild yeast. Pretty sure it said it was wild yeast on the website when I looked. Let's go to swirl. So what's the colour like? Let's talk about the colour a bit more than I just did. It's quite nice orange, actually. Again, it's sort of slightly gold heading toward amber, I would say that is. So yeah, not quite marmalade, which is the sort of colour I've been describing things at a few times lately. But yeah, sort of like a deep gold, just on the edge of amber, I would say. So nice. Let's give it a swirl and a smell. Good nose, rich nose. It does smell like it's going to be sweet, but there's some like depth of character there as well. So the aged apple, there's almost like an orange pithiness to it as well, I think. Yeah, good. It's good. It's pretty cold, but it has just been in the shed. It wasn't in the fridge, it was in the shed, but it is chilly. Not quite as cold as it was during the last video, which was really bloody cold. Still pretty cold in here though. Yeah, I'd say there's like aged apple, but there's like a pithy orange element I want to say to it as well. Just in sort of in the background, not really any funk. It smells rich. It smells like it's going to be sweet. It said medium, I believe, but it's got a sweet apple in there, mixed with a bit of sweet. So let's see what it's like. So the Dabinett's definitely bringing some astringency to this with the tannins on the front of my palate. Merest hint of hard tannin on the back, I would say. Just a merest hint of the hard tannin. Tiny bit of leatheriness on the back end, which I like. It is quite sweet, but it's a rich, lush sweetness. Doesn't feel like a sweetness you get from concentrates and industrial sort of cider. Let's try a bit more. It's got a leathery edge to it. Yeah, it has got a leathery edge to it. And I do like that. Those tannins really bring something to the table. You can make cider from just sweet apples, but what you really need is the bitter sweets to bring that character to it. That leatheriness just offsets the sweetness, just gives it a bit more character, a bit more mouthfeel, a bit more structure, and makes it stand apart from industrial ciders, basically. That's what you want. Now this is too cold. It is going to change in the glass. One thing I noticed from the one I had yesterday in the last tasting, the Kingston Black from Southdown, it warmed up, and I actually started to pick up some like hints of overripe fruit. So it actually went a little bit too ripe in terms of the fruit that was on it, and it wasn't like an apple fruit; it was like a overripe stone fruit, a tropical fruit element to it. I noticed, and that only happened as it sat and warmed up. So you do really have to get heat into these things, let them breathe, get some warmth into them to really, get the most out of them. So I'm not really doing it at the moment, but I've got limited space in the house. So I do have to keep things down here, and it is pretty warm, pretty cold out here. So this is nice. So it's nice, rich, round, friendly. Yeah. If it wasn't for that leathery thing, you probably wouldn't want to go back for more because of the sweetness. Because of that leatheriness and that sort of the stringency and the subtle leatheriness on the back, it makes it so much more drinkable. It's all about balance. Just one thing by itself tends to be dull, so sweetness. If you add to that, say, acidity, this isn't that acid, it's quite low in acidity, but it's a bit of sweet and a sweet. So they're classified as such rather than having sharp in there because they're also high levels of acidity. So you wouldn't expect it to be that acid. But what rescues it is the leatheriness, is the tannin. That's what does it. So I think it's going to get quite a lot better in the glass, actually. I've got a lot of time for Axminster. Nick is the cider maker. Can't remember his surname, but I've had some contact with him. And he's got some other things, so I think I would like to try those as well. Cool. Well, I am going to draw a line on the proceedings because my light is probably going to go off, and I'm sick of it going off halfway through tastings. It's kind of embarrassing. You think I've learnt my lesson, wouldn't you? Never mind. So there you go. Axminster Craft Cider Co. There you go. The Dabinett Sweet Coppin. Me like. It's good. It's good. I think it's wild yeast, but there's no funk to it. I see me's aging this in neutral sort of vessels, so it's steel, plastic, not in wood, because don't know if there is in wood. I'm not getting a lot of wood influence in it. Let's say. Okay, guys. Thank you for joining me as always. I hope to see you again for the next tasting. And until then, cheers.